I don't know where you'd rank this game for Dub's career as long as you've been coaching him, but what do you see from him and what do you think allowed him to get out and run and play with the force he kind of did?
Great force. I mean, that's the word. And we've used that word with him in his development. And when he's at his best, he's playing with that type of force. And that was an unbelievable performance by him just throughout the whole game. I mean, he really was on the gas the entire night, applied a ton of pressure, thought he made a lot of the right plays. And we're going to need a similar type of approach in Game 6 from him.
Joe on the right.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Mark, what did you think of the crowd tonight?
Yeah, unreal. I mean, they've been unreal forever, but they just put the wind at our back, and we have to give them a reason to. We have to play with the type of togetherness and competitiveness and spirit that they can relate to, which I thought we did tonight, but it's an unbelievable lift for us to be home. I'm sorry?
Can you hear each other out there? I mean, you're barking instructions, everything like that. Just what's that like?
Yeah, less than the regular season, but enough. We're getting the stuff in.
Hey, Mark. Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. You guys are trading punches there in the fourth quarter with them, and then you go up 8 after J-Dub hits a shot. Then you had the 4 steals in a row. Just walk me through those defensive possessions for your guys and how fitting it was to see the game really secured with your defense.
Yeah, I thought our defense tonight was really good. I thought our conversion off of our defense was hit or miss. We had some really good moments. We had some moments that I wish we could have back. The second chance points were a major problem. They did a great job of crashing to the glass. They beat us in the paint tonight. So it wasn't a perfect game at all, and there's a lot of room for growth. But I thought our improvement from Game 4 to Game 5 was critical, and we're going to need a similar type of approach. We got to take the humility to understand there's still a lot we can get better at if we want to go on the road, and win a game.
Nick in the middle.
Mark, you just mentioned improvement, the offensive process. What did you make of that? The 24 assists, 10 by Shea, and just the sheer way that you scored on that end.
Yeah, I thought we took a step forward there. That we took some steps forwards tonight. We took some steps backwards. That's natural. You're not going to be perfect in everything, but offensively, we definitely took some steps forward in terms of our approach. And defensively, I thought we were pretty good. I thought McConnell really changed the game in the third. Obviously, that was blatant. And so, we got to do a better job there. We got to do a better job on the glass. Late game defensive transition, they kept the pressure on us there. So we have room for growth, but I thought we took some steps forward on the other end.
Vince on the right.
Hey, Coach. Vince Gould, Yahoo Sports. Coming into the season, the thought was that either Dub or Chet was going to have to step forward to be the second guy next to Shea to get you guys to this level. Was there anything before the season or during the season where you were sort of affirmed about J-Dub, or was it something that evolved through the playoffs that sort of leads up to tonight in this series?
Yeah, respectfully, we don't look at it like that in terms of, second guy, first guy, third guy, anything like that. We're just trying to help every guy grow and improve and tackle the next thing in front of them. And Dub's a third-year player. Chet's a third-year player. Cason Wallace, a second-year player. I mean, we're just trying to help those guys take steps forward wherever they are at a given moment. That's everybody on the roster. That's Caruso and Kenrich Williams, and that's all the way on down. And when you do that and when the guys commit to that, they improve. And I think tonight, a lot of the things that Dub got in the game tonight are things that we talked about early in the season. He wasn't having games like this in November, December. So his focus on the improvement, I think, led to him being the player he is right now. But again, these guys can be ready to go on the road. We got to be ready to go as well.
Fifth row on the left.
Right here. Mark Logan Murdoch of The Ringer. It seemed like Shea provided a calming influence down the stretch of this game. I think that he had a hockey assist to J-Dub with about, 8 minutes left, and then you took him out and he came back in and got another assist to Dort. What did you think of his game, and how did he kind of settle things when you guys were when they were coming back, when Indiana was coming back?
Yeah, I thought they had a really good offensive second half. And so defensively, there's some things we can learn from. Like I mentioned, McConnell in the third, and then in the fourth, even I think they had 30 points or 33 points. and so we need to improve there. But our offense kind of paced us down the stretch, and he's such a big part of that because he's just in such command with the ball. And Dub was doing that tonight too, which is important against their pressure. So thought those guys, again, played really well in the two-man game, controlled the clock, controlled the game down the stretch, and paced us ahead of them.
Fourth row on the right.
Mark Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. I talked to you last series about how both J-Dub and Shea used the phrase, be where your feet are. As their coach heading back into Indiana, how will you continue to hold tight to that phrase?
Yeah, I mean, we have to, as we have all year, we have to focus on improving. We're playing a game, and we have to get better in the areas that we have to improve. Indiana is going to do that. That's part of a series. That's how you pace ahead of a series, is you keep improving. And we got to go up there and focus on what we focus on, which is the next game, the next possession, and where we are. And the guys have done an amazing job of that. But these games are a challenge. We want to win these games. It can pull you into the future. It can pull you out into the past. We got to stay present and compete together in every possession of the game.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Mark, you mentioned, I think, the practice after game one that typically for third-year guys, delivering in the finals isn't on the curriculum.
Yep.
Why do you think Dub has been able to come through the way he has, especially over these last few games in this series?
I mean, these guys are really good players, obviously. But I go back to the improvement. There's times earlier in the season where, he had some ugly plays and ugly games, trying to establish the type of force that you saw tonight. And I complimented him back then, but he's trying to make an all-star team. He's an all-NBA player this season. He's got an individual career that, he's ambitious. But the way that you accomplish your goals and become the player you're going to be is by improving. And I credit him because in the face of all those things, he just focused on improving. And now in the face of going up to Indiana, up 3-2, we have to focus on improving. That's got to be our mindset, and we have to discipline ourselves to do that.
Third row on the left.
Daigneault BEGS. So, Mark, back to Joe's question about the crowd. It seems like when there are lulls in the game, the crowd starts making noises. I don't know if it's a correlation or if you feel like it's a correlation, but it seems like that kind of pushes you guys to the next level. Do you feel that, or do you feel like the players feel that?
I mean, you can ask them, but again, I think the crowd puts the wind at our back. I always marvel at how enthusiastic and positive they remain in the ebbs and flows of a game or of a season. They're always trying to put the wind at our back. They're always trying to lift the team up. And I just think that's a great spirit that's on display in all these games. But they were amazing tonight, obviously.
Second row on your right.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports. Jalen, is this the kind of game you envision for him? I mean, not that he's going to get 40, but I know he's worked on trying to get to the free throw line. He had 12 free throws tonight, along with the field goals. And also, could you comment, you got the turnovers tonight, like in game one, but you also got the points to go with it, 32, unlike in game one.
Yeah, I thought our conversion tonight was better. I thought there were also some plays where we were a little hasty in transition, and we can clean that up. We have to attack with intelligence after our stops, and we can improve that a little bit. But yeah, Jalen, again, I don't know if this is what I envisioned, but we're just trying to help guys grow, from wherever they are at a given point in time, and he's committed to that process. And he's not the only one. I mean, he had the loudest game, but we've got a culture of that. Our guys do an amazing job of just staying present in their careers, staying present in the season, just attacking what's right in front of them.
Fourth row on the right.
Dean Blevins, News 9. Coach, I was wondering on potential challenges. There seemed to be a number of calls that could have been that you might have thought about challenging. What was your thinking on it? Because it wasn't just one or two. It seemed like there were a number of them.
I mean, you're always just focused on trying to get it right. You don't want to burn one on a play that could be marginal or can be interpreted in a certain way, and try to keep it in your pocket unless it's one that you can really go get.
Fred, last question in the back right.
Hey, Mark. You guys, especially like Aaron Wiggins, seem to put a real emphasis on getting up shots, getting up threes in transition. Was that something that you felt like you guys had to emphasize was a better way to get threes in transition? And what did you think of the looks you guys were able to get from beyond the arc tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we shot 17 threes in game 4, and that's not really a recipe in turn. It's a byproduct of offense that's not where it needs to be. And so I thought we made some improvements tonight. I thought Wiggs and Case and Wallace specifically, especially in the first half, those guys gave us a major lift, came in aggressive. Wiggs only played 8 minutes in Game 4. I didn't think Kaysen played great in Game 4, and they both came ready to go tonight and gave us a massive lift. And we're going to need that type of aggressiveness and confidence from everybody, and they gave it to us tonight.
Thank you, Coach.